What's going on, guys? Today is Monday. We're doing all of our shipping from late Saturday, early Sunday, or all of Sunday, and then early this morning. And today we're gonna bounce around. We are gonna do some sourcing, going to provide as much value as we possibly can. And at the end of this video, we're gonna show 10 pairs that sold yesterday for a pretty decent profit. Let's dive in. Here is a valuable, interesting piece of insight that has helped us a ton build relationships at the post office. Learned this actually from LeBron James, and when we are bringing a ton of packages to the post office, especially Mondays, this is weird, each post person likes us to either stack the packages a certain way or go out back and fill up a U-boat. So we've gotten real good about understanding who is working that day and then stacking the boxes how they like it. Now let me use an example on why we got it from LeBron James. I listened to an interview with LeBron James once, and he was talking about how he knows exactly how each one of his teammates like to receive the ball when he passes to them based on how they shoot. Some guys like a pass up top so they can shoot it real quick. Some guys like it down low so they can do a move. And he knows that. He knows how his teammates like to receive the ball. And because of that, the whole team is better. We thought about that, and then it sounds kind of weird, but that's how we look at the people that work with us on the post office. At the post office is they're part of our team. And so today, for example, there's an older gentleman that likes when we stack all the boxes by the door rather than in the big bin, and we stack them kind of around the corner so it does not block the door, so it's not a fire hazard. And I knew he was working today when I first walked in, so I stacked them all that way. And he's got a whole line. He's stressed out, and he made sure to yell, "Thank you so much. See you tomorrow." There's another guy who likes when we show up to give him the wave, and then we meet out back to fill up a U-boat. And then there's another woman who's a little bit older that works here that likes us to put all the packages on the counter. So we just do that. Whenever she's working, we put all the packages on the counter. Whenever that other gentleman is working, we do what we did today. And then when the third gentleman is working, we go around back, give him the nod, and then we fill up a U-boat. Little things like this help us build relationships that open up doors that we can't even imagine. All right, we just pulled up to the first stop. It is 9 a.m. Some important things to note. When we are going sourcing, we try to get to the locations first thing in the morning, right when they open up. This location opens at 9. Look, they're opening up the door right now, so we are going to go in. If you get there first thing in the morning, you have the better chance of finding inventory. Also, we go on discount days. Today, they're hosting one color is $1 and another color is 50% off. So obviously, we're gonna look for those. We also take advantage of rewards programs. Northern New England Goodwills have a rewards program. It's $10 to have a membership for the entire year, and it gives you up to 25% off your purchase depending on how much you spend. Go on discount days, get there first, and take advantage of rewards. So this is exactly what I was just talking about right here. $10 for the year, and then here's all the discounts. You spend $20, you get 5%, 50, you get 10%, and it goes all the way down. We always try to spend at least $100 so we get an additional 25% off, obviously if there's good inventory. So as we walk in, you can see on the signs that pink items are $1 and then any red items are 50% off. So we're gonna keep an eye out for those. A huge bummer when we showed up here was there's lots of empty shelving. Usually this place is full. Whenever you see that, that means they've cleared the stuff from last week, which goes to the pound, and then they're about to put in new inventory, but they're behind, obviously because they haven't filled the shelves. Usually this location has absolutely full shelves, so it's one of those things where it's a bummer because they're a little bit behind, but we're gonna dive in and see if we can't find anything, even though they haven't put out all this week's inventory. So we ended up finding a few pairs. Here's a pair of Adidas. It's in really great condition, no rips or tears. Original insole. and these are $13. So these are keepers. Here we have a pair of Keds. We usually pass on all Keds unless it's a crazy design. This we consider a crazy design, and these are $6, half off. So these are only $3. So we are gonna keep these. Here's a pair of Saucony. They're $6, and they are a great colorway. This black and bright pink color, also a great size. So these are a keeper. We usually pick up bogs, but condition matters. There's some scuffs on the front, and then they tried to use the size tag to cover the heel drag. There's a ton of heel drag on these, so we are going to pass on those. Here's a pair of $13 Pumas. They are in really, really good condition. They're also a great size. No rips or tears. Plenty of life left in these, so we are going to purchase these. Here is a unique pair of Vans. These are a pair of men's 10.5 Surfsiders, and it's a great size. It's canvas, not a lot of cleanup, so we're gonna keep these. These are keepers. Here's a pair of $3 youth Nikes. Now these are gonna be a super easy cleanup. These are actually infant size 13. No rips or tears. The insoles are still in great condition. It's going to be easy to clean up that white part, and the purple is good. So these are keepers for $3. Here's a pair of Mizuno, $6, great price. Usually a brand that we pick up, but as you can see, they don't have their original insoles, so we're going to pass on these. We always pass with no insoles. Here's a pair of LL Bean waterproof Tech 2.5s. These are a great brand. These are a kid size 1. Great condition, no rips or tears. Plenty of tread left. These are $10. These are keepers. We're going to keep these. Here's a pair of $10 Clays, C-L-A-E. This is a new brand to us. So we looked up the comps. First of all, we made sure the condition was great. A men's size 12, that's a great size. Looked up the comps on these, and they looked good. So we did our research. Always do your research on comps with everything, but we're going to keep those. Here's a pair of $10 Uggs. These are usually a pickup, but as you can see on the front here, the toe has some rips. And we always pass on pairs that have rips or tears. So we are going to pass on these. No rips or tears. So far, so good. Ended up with 8 pairs, even though the shelves were empty. All right, so we just pulled an audible. So it is about 9:32. As you guys saw, we found, what was it, 8 pairs. And it came out to about $66 before any discount. So I asked at the register, as you guys saw, the shelves were kind of empty and they were a little behind putting shoes out. So I asked, I said, hey, do you think you'll be putting out more shoes today or tomorrow? And they said, actually, we're gonna be putting out shoes in about half an hour. So I said, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? My next stop is another Goodwill that's a couple miles away. I'm gonna go look at their selection, and then I will come back, and by that time they'll be putting out more shoes so that we hopefully can find a couple more pairs to put our purchase over $100, which will then give us our maximum discount, because if you spend $100 or more, you get 25% off your entire purchase. So there may not be any more shoes, because usually the shoes that they put out beginning in the week are the higher buy cost, but there is a chance. And since the next stop is only a couple miles away, and we come here all the time, they said, hey, tell you what, the shoes that you have, we'll just put them at the register, and we know that you're honorable and you'll be back very shortly. We just told you that we're putting out more shoes, and we obviously want to sell more shoes, so if you come back within the hour, we'll have the shoes out and you can add to your purchase. So call in an audible. We're gonna go to the other spot, see what they got, and then come back to this spot. This is where relationships come into play. We're following all the rules. They usually do put stuff on hold for the day if you want to purchase it, because sometimes people have a fraudulent pay or they just have to go get cash or whatever they have to do. So we're still following all the rules, but now we're increasing the chance that we will find more shoes and we will lower our buy cost. All right, here we are at stop number 2, a couple miles down the road, only a couple minutes away. The first pair we're looking at is an $8 pair of Nike. These are not in great shape and they have some really bad heel drag, so we're gonna pass on these. Next, we got a $6 pair, half off $3 pair of Brooks. However, these are not in good condition, super dingy, and we are gonna pass on these, not worth the amount of time it would take to clean this particular pair, even though the buy cost is great. Here's a $6 pair of New Balance, but as you can see, the tread is really worn, and then it's got some nasty heel rips. Pass on those. Here's an $8 half off $4 pair of Timberlands, but as you can see, these are in rough shape. They've got a big tear in the side. The twist test revealed that. Usually a great brand, but these, condition wise, they got some cracking in the back. These are a pass. We're gonna leave these behind. Here's a $15 pair of Muck boots, lows. These are usually a really good pickup, even at 15 bucks, but the heel drag is just too much for our liking, so we're gonna pass. Here is a $10 pair of Under Armour. Again, we usually pick these up in brighter colorways, but as you can see, this is a gray colorway and there's some tears in the heel, so we're gonna pass on those. Big red flag, it says as is, but here's a pair of Nike Air Max. Pretty beat up. It looks like you've got some separation in the toe there. There's some rips in the heels. Obviously, these are all no-goes, and then the last draw is the air bubble. Doesn't look like it's in good shape, so there's another big tear on the front there. These are a pass. Here's a $13 half off, so these, let's just call it $6.50. These are Cabela's men's waterproof. These are some pretty good looking boots. These will be easy to clean. The dirt will come off these, and the tread is in good condition, so these are keepers. We're going to keep these. These are a yes. Here's a $6 half off, $3 pair of Adidas Cloud Foams. Plenty of tread left, and again, these are going to be super easy to clean. We have good luck with these. The comps are good. These are a women's 6.5, so these are keepers. We're going to throw these in the cart. Here is a $5 pair of New Balance. These are a women's size 6, I believe that's it. Yep, women's size 6. These are the 650 V2s. Super easy to clean these up, and they're in great condition, no rips or tears. These are a yes. Here's a $5 pair of youth Nikes. These are infant size 13. So we are going to keep these. Again, they're in great condition. We have extra laces, no rips or tears. Insoles look great. These are keepers. Here's an $8 pair of Keen hiking sandals. These are a youth size 5, so we are going to sell them as their women's equivalent as well. Gives us double the chance to sell them. They are gonna need a solid cleanup, but there's plenty of tread left, so these are keepers. We're gonna keep these. These are a yes. Here is a pair of youth Nikes. Believe these were a size 3.5Y, so they're in the youth section, which means they're discounted. No rips or tears. Always make sure to check every square inch. Great tread left, good condition, won't take that much to clean these up, so these are keepers. Here's a $6 pair of Crocs. Now, the important thing to note here is these are platform Crocs. Normal, traditional Crocs don't sell for as much, and these are not the ideal size women's 6, but because they're a great price point and they're platforms that sell for more, these are keepers. These are a pair of 6 Olakais. Olakai is a great brand. These are a men's size 12. No rips or tears. We looked at the front and it looks like there may have been a rip, but it is not in fact ripped. It's just a fuzzy that we'll use the fabric shaver to shave that off and we'll be good to go. It's a men's size 12, great price point. That is a yes, we're keeping these. So as you can see, we found a solid amount of inventory. This is a great stop. Here's something important to note. These are $50. Which is high, but these are a really, really good boot. They're 1,000-gram Thinsulate lacrosse boots. They got plenty of tread left. However, boom, they got rips. They're tore up. So they went by the brand. They didn't go by condition. We're going to pass on those. However, we did find, here's $30 price point next to those lacrosse boots. These are women's muck boots. They are in excellent condition. Comps are really, really good on these. So even though they are $30 a pair, they're both women's size 9. They're in absolutely amazing condition. We're going to talk about it in a second where we factor in the average buy cost with the rest of the inventory right here that we've already purchased. And in this case, these $30 purchases make sense. So here's a perfect example of why we do the average buy cost. Now there's some important things to note here. As you guys saw, we got these 2 pairs of women's muck boots that were $30 each. But since we're keeping track of our numbers consistently as we're sourcing, the average buy cost came down to $8.50 for just this one stop. The 2 $30 muck boots pushed our purchase over $100, which means we got an additional 25% off. So yes, the buy cost of the less expensive pairs went up a little bit, but it's still within our threshold based on the comps on the marketplaces that we are selling. So it's super important to know your numbers if you're gonna make a purchase on a pair that's a little bit bigger. If we had just walked in and these muck boots were the only pairs that we found, it wouldn't really make sense to spend $30 each unless the comps were, 100 plus or super high. But it looks like they are selling on the marketplaces that we are using these type of muck boots for around 60 to 80 plus, and there's a couple pairs that sold for a lot more, but the general comp that we are comfortable with is that $60 to $80 range. So we're comfortable paying a little bit more and then averaging the buy cost in as long as our threshold is still under $10 per pair. So we spent with tax, and we always donate a little bit. So we spent exactly $85 at this stop. I don't know if you guys can see that, 85 bucks. And we got 10 pairs. So $8.50 per pair all in. That is under the $10 per pair threshold that we want to keep. And it also is respecting the comps on the less expensive pairs where the buy cost came up. If you have any questions, jump into the comments below. So we're back at the first stop to see if they put the shoes out and see if we can't increase the amount of pairs that we buy. It was absolutely worth it to come back. As you see, we filled another cart. Now all we have to do is go through, verify condition on all of these. Some really, really good boots. Absolutely worth coming back for the restock. As we went through the boots, we did the twist test. Always do the twist test and it will reveal these giant cracks. So here's something super important to note. What our first stop, which was gonna be, I think, 8 pairs. And then as you guys saw, they said we're gonna be putting out more pairs. So we went to the second stop, which was only a couple miles away, and then came back. So we went from 8 pairs to 30 pairs and kept our buy costs under $10. Another thing to note is we did pay up a little bit on some of these pairs because they were just put out. But since we're keeping track of all of our numbers, we still stayed below our $10 threshold. Paid up a little bit, but the inventory was literally on the shelves for a matter of minutes, less than an hour. So the manager came up to me and was like, thank you so much. We really appreciate you making such a large purchase. And we're building that relationship. Always follow, respect your budget. But something that we've learned from Rally Roots is sometimes you're gonna have to pay up a little bit to build that relationship for the long term. Keep that in mind as you're outsourcing. Always, always, always respect that budget. But if the pairs make sense and it's just peaking on your, I think it came out to like $9.70 per pair for those 30 pairs. but that's under our threshold of $10 per pair. And we're building that rapport and building that relationship with the manager here. The adventure continues. So I just popped into another stop. It was another Goodwill location, and there was nothing. Not all stops are fruitful, and you want to make the most of your time when you're out there, so don't overthink it. If everything's ripped, if everything's got tears, or everything's overpriced, make sure you look at every single pair, but if it's not there, just move on to the next. So just remembered that in this same parking lot as that Goodwill where we did not find any shoes, there is a Christmas tree shop. Bam, right there. We're always talking about where we get our shelving, and it's at the Christmas tree shops in store. So we're gonna go in, see if they have any shelving so we can show you guys exactly what we get. So not every Christmas tree shop has these, but when they do, we pick up a bunch. We're gonna pick up 6 racks. They're $10 each. I think we have a coupon too. I'm gonna have to check with Lindsay. And we pick the ones that are 24, holds up to 24, as opposed to these ones that are 20. They're both the same price. So it obviously holds more shoes for the same amount of price, for the same amount of money, but these are a different configuration. They're a lot shorter and wider, and based on our workplace, our workspace, we like the ones that are a little bit skinnier, that hold a little more and can go a little bit up, and then we zip tie them together. All right, this is gonna be our last stop for today, because then we gotta get home. We got some stuff going on. Looks like there's a decent amount to look at. Here is a pair of On. We usually do pick these up, although they are super dirty. That is cleanable. However, on the front here, there's a giant rip. So these are a pass. We're gonna pass on these. Up next, we have a Gore-Tex pair of LL Bean, but you can see there's some cracking. The tread looks really, really good, and the price, 25 half off. $12.50 is usually good, but we're gonna pass on those. Here's a pair of Nike Air Max, but you can see the bubble is completely popped. Doesn't matter how much these cost, we're gonna pass on these. Here is a $6 pair of Asics GT 1000s. No rips or tears, easy cleanup, great original insoles. This is a yes. Here's a $20 pair of LL Bean, but remember today, all pink is $1. So pink goes from $20 to $1. It's a great women's sized LL Bean. It's got that Primaloft insulation, super easy cleanup with the shaver. What was $20 is now $1. We're keeping these. Here's another thing that you guys want to keep an eye out for. Look in the glass cases, because usually what the thrift thinks are premium pairs go in the glass cases. But here's a tip. They price them usually pretty high. These are $40. We're going to pass on these because the color is pink and red, and those are green. But we always ask to look at the other pairs. Here's some brand new Nikes. Pop these out, and they've only priced them at $10. So this is a keeper. Brand new pair of Nikes. Whoever priced those only priced them at $10. And then here's another pair. Looks like they're brand new. They're $13. With our buy cost, it's going to come down under 10. So those are keepers as well. No rips or tears. These things are mint condition. Then you got a pair of Gore-Tex Merrells. Gore-Tex is usually gold. $20. The color is red, half off. $10 Gore-Tex Merrells in the case. Look at those insoles. These are keepers. Then we've got some waterproof Merrell, but they are $20 green, and they look like they've got some wear on the front there. So we're going to pass on these Merrells, but we're going to take the All right,
Gore-Tex.
so we just got home, and a few things to note. So today we finished up with 55 pairs. We spent $494, and that brings it down to $8.98 per pair. we hope you see a little. I mean, this is just one piece of a week-long puzzle that we are putting together. It was a good day. We got 55 pairs, which is awesome. A few things to note is we average our buy cost for all pairs, so we constantly are keeping track of our numbers. We've got our receipts in here and our cost per pair for each stop. We know going into each stop what our cost is, so that if there is something that costs a little bit more, like those boots, those muck boots that I showed you, we know if it makes sense or not. And the reason that it made sense is because we were buying and the average buy cost was still under 10. Also, again, shout out to Rally Roots. Sometimes we pay a little bit more when we're buying in bulk in order to build that relationship. That's what we learned from them, and it works. The manager came up and said, thank you so much for your purchases. It was all inventory that they had just put out. So imagine a manager saying, we just put out this inventory and now it's all gone. If it didn't make sense at that price point with our collective buy cost, then we'd wait till discount day and see if they're still there, and then that would bring the buy cost down. So you got to be flexible with your game plan, but you got to have a game plan. Also, with respect to being flexible, as you guys saw, when I got to that first stop, found 8 pairs, which would have been great, but I asked them because I noticed that the shelves were empty, and I showed that on the video, that I know you guys are going to be putting out more shoes. Do you plan on doing it today or maybe tomorrow? They radioed to the back, and then they said, actually, we're going to be putting them out in half an hour. And then that allowed us to make a audible on our game plan, go to the next stop and come back. What was 8 pairs at one stop then turned into 30 pairs. It also turned into building a relationship with that manager. It also turned more inventory, but we always respect our budget, and it still came in under that $10 threshold that we aim for. We're gonna jump into 10 pairs that we sold this weekend. We're gonna tell you the buy cost, we're gonna tell you where it sold, we're gonna tell you how much it sold for and how much our profit was, so you can hopefully add those styles and those brands to your sourcing list. But as always, guys, if you have any questions about anything that we are putting out, we're always answering questions. Jump into the comments below. If this is the type of video that you guys want more of, let us know in the comments below. We're just trying to provide as much value as we possibly can. And the honest truth is, we want to bump into you in the thrifts, in the outlets, in the retail locations that we go to, so that we can build relationships as we are building our business around New England, down the East Coast, and then eventually heading towards the West Coast. We want to be able to bump into you. You say hi, we throw high fives, maybe we split up some inventory. But it's super important for us to build community as we are heading towards the goals that we have for 2020. The adventure continues, guys. We're jumping into those 10 solds right now. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, jump in the comments below.